So, Minecraft Live 2022. It was an interesting event for sure, and a bit of a mixed bag for me personally. Today I'm going to recap and review everything we learnt at Minecraft Live, the next update, the mob vote, and much more. Let's get into it. Normally I can decide whether I like an update or not based on the Minecraft Live event. I remember watching the show which announced the Nether update for 1.16 and being hyped beyond belief. But Minecraft Live 2022 was odd. I simultaneously feel immensely happy with the direction Mojang seemed to be going with regards to overall update development, but also conflicted about the lack of detail and some of the features that are being added. Let's start with the things that happened before we got to the 1.20 stuff. So although it's unfortunate to begin on a low note, there was too much preamble. Over an hour and a half of talking about Minecraft Legends, Minecraft Dungeons, pretty much everything but Minecraft. The only real news we got in this part of the show was that the Tough Golem had been eliminated, which is just not enough. We didn't get a whole ton of feature announcements at Minecraft Live this year, which we'll talk more about later, but when over 3/4 of your show is about something that most people aren't there to see, you're doing something wrong. We get this to some extent every year, but Mojang actually plugged their YouTube channel in this event, which was hilarious, because it's the perfect place for separate videos with regards to Minecraft Legends and Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Live should be Minecraft Live. But now, let's get into my thoughts on the new features. First of all, I really appreciated the way they addressed the issue of transparency. While there wasn't much to see with regards to new features in the show itself, it was made very clear that this is only the tip of the iceberg. I think this will make it much easier for Mojang to deliver on promises, and I was also glad they mentioned the idea of developing an update alongside the community. It really feels like Mojang are changing their approach to developing a Minecraft update, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as far as I can see. One issue the devs will have to face is that the update, for now, has no name. While I don't think this is necessarily an inherently bad thing, it will cause some trouble in that it won't have the same hype during build-up. The only way we can really refer to this update is 1.20, rather than Caves and Cliffs or Village and Pillage. It gives the update a lot less marketing potential and a lot less life, in my opinion. But as I say, it doesn't affect how I view the features themselves. So let's talk about those a bit. Although the update has no name, Agnes and Lydia discussed that making Minecraft more Minecrafty was key when planning the update, and I think one place this really comes through is in the new default skins. 7 new skin presets available to all players from day 1, alongside the classics Alex and Steve. I can get behind this, although I've never had a problem with a lack of representation in Minecraft before. I think there will be folks who find the game more welcoming as a result, although I maintain that Minecraft has always been accessible for nearly everyone. Although Alex and Steve will always be the classics and will probably be held in higher regard than these newcomers, I don't have a problem with these newcomers, and I think they should slot in fairly well. In terms of actual in-game mechanics, let's talk about hanging signs. I really like these things. There's a lot of variety in the design and it gives chains more functionality. One doubt I do have, however, is being able to hang signs from other signs, as shown in concept footage here. For an update that's trying to be super Minecrafty, there's something about this that seems very modded, very added on. I think only making these signs hangable from full blocks might be a good idea, but other than that, I'm very happy with this addition. The same can't necessarily be said for the bamboo wood set. I was watching Minecraft Live with a friend when it aired, and he had some choice comments about this feature. The colours are too light, actual bamboo thatch has a much darker brown quality to it. Not to mention the mosaic block type, which straight up looks like pasta, and in my opinion, it doesn't really add anything beyond feature padding. While I like the idea in theory, the general vibe I get when I see this is... I didn't ask. Bamboo is viable already with regards to scaffolding, and I feel like this bright yellow-white block is quite jarring when placed aside many others. Not only that, but it feels late. Bamboo was added ages ago, and boats were updated very recently. I'm not saying it's pointless, just more that it feels like filler, which is past the ideal time for release. What I do like, however, is the bamboo raft. It has a cool texture and lots of potential. Wouldn't it be cool if you could lash rafts together with string to seat more people for a potentially slower experience? Or if you could craft stilts to connect a raft to a seabed or riverbed and start a raft-based base. Obviously, there would have to be a lot of mechanical tweaking done by Mojang to make that work. But then again, that's kind of their job. But although I'm divided on bamboo itself, I do like the rafts and what they represent. What I'm not divided on is these chiseled bookshelves that were announced. These will be great fun. I've been wanting something like this for ages, unlike with the bamboo problem I mentioned, and having this as an option for adventure maps and hidden bases opens up immense possibilities. Book storage is a great thing to have in general, and the texture of this bookshelf is so beautiful, it makes the old one look crude. This texture does call for dyed books, I think, which would be a nice way to customize property and tell different books apart. I also love that these can hold enchanted books, and I hope that this is incorporated into the Stronghold library, rather than having the books spawn in chests. There's a lot of potential for immersion there. But let's talk about the big news now. Camels. These guys are derpy, cute, decently useful, and almost everything you could want in a mob. It's also great to see the desert getting some love, as it and many other warm biomes have been neglected in recent years. I think camels have a cool design, and I also like the dash ability they have, though I don't think it's too realistic, which seems to have been one of the more prominent focuses with the other features. I also love that you breed them with cactus. That gives cactus much more functionality, and again gives us a reason to travel to the desert. But the really interesting thing about the camels is that they seat 2 players. This actually has implications for PvP. They're essentially a tank, with both mobility and damage packed into one. Lawrence of Arabia would be proud, and I am too. Camels are great, but one thing I'd take is them having some kind of buff when travelling on sand or red sand, making them more viable in the desert and badlands. Alternatively, maybe Mojang could nerf horses when travelling on sand to indirectly buff the camel. Whatever happens, these mobs are probably the coolest part of the update so far. And that's kind of it. As I said previously, there isn't much to the content announced during the live show. The only other thing to mention is the Sniffer, which thankfully won the vote with an unprecedented, but not completely unexpected, majority of over 50%. I much preferred voting this year since none of the choices were blatantly bad ones, and also because a lot more people got a voice outside of Twitter. Votes do have their uses, and my aforementioned friend raised a good point when he said that votes on simple yes or no issues could be a good way to gauge community feedback and develop updates alongside us in the future. I don't mind the lack of content too much now if it means there won't be any dropped features, and I think we'll see a lot more to come. Going forward, I think this update could use some unique challenges and adventures, which we don't really have with the mostly aesthetic additions thus far. We've been told to expect playtesting much earlier than normal, again explaining the sparse content, which is fantastic. I'll probably release a video in a few weeks or months when new features are announced, playing around with different things in-game. Minecraft Live 2022 was far from perfect. There was way too much baggage before the proper show began. I can't say I'm necessarily a fan of the bamboo wood as it is currently, and this update still has a long way to go before it can even be called an update. That said, it's an exciting time to be a Minecraft player, and most of the other features look dope as heck. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'll be releasing another video essay about something rather different in a couple of weeks. Until then, stay safe folks, and watch out for announcements from Mojang. See you in a bit.